my past, my calling, my name is Maxine. I grew up a black woman in a racist, sexist city, but despite the odds being against me, I made it. I have a right to my anger. I call it rebellion.
The disproportionate numbers of black males that are in prisons around this country are in prisons because they don't have the wealth by which to get fancy lawyers who will go in and ensure that they buy justice for them, as white folks can do in America.
This is punishment. This is being very harsh on the most vulnerable people in our society, to include liquor stores in this group of stores that you would not like to have the welfare recipients use.
Waters has been charged with ethics violations for asking regulators to help a bank in which her husband had a financial interest. She denies breaking any house rules.
What people have seen on television in recent days is outlandish behavior by the Tea Party operation in Washington, D.C. And I think that speaks volumes about what's causing problems in Washington,
What exactly outlandish behavior? Specifically, what do you mean by
the
that?
shouting? The Republicans were out there having a great time. They were laughing. They were waving the American flag. They were egging them on. And I thought that was outrageous behavior. I really did.
Guess what this liberal will be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing, basically taking over, and the government running all of your companies.
I couldn't believe it. After all I'd done to pave the way for a woman president, that I still lived in a sexist nation that couldn't handle a woman president. But then it occurred to me, we didn't lose the election. The Russians stole it. And I'm telling everybody.
I believe that there was a connection between Donald Trump's campaign and the Russians and the Kremlin. Absolutely was in collusion with the Kremlin and Putin in Russia. Our intelligence agencies have already confirmed that the Russians did hack into the DNC. This is a bunch of scumbags. That's what they are.
Those are very strong words,
organized around making money.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
You have an investigation going on where the president is implicated.
Just to be clear, there has been no actual evidence yet.
No, it has not been.
Okay, I just want
No,
to
it has not. Can people see what's going on? Why do you think they hacked into our election? They hacked into the election because they have to make sure that Donald Trump got elected.
You know what? I built my career on appealing to the people that women of color can accomplish things too. But I'll be damned if a white man tries to virtue signal their way up the ladder. And as far as I'm concerned, the Tea Party can go straight to hell.
struggle. We're going to do everything necessary.
I'm not afraid of anybody. This is a tough game.
I'm a strong black woman.
See them? Look at them in the eye. Look at them in the eye, because we're going to be fighting against them.
Go back to Europe.
Okay,
Go back to Europe.
Go back to Europe, racist. Look at them in the eye, all right? And this one too. Look at another one. KKK supporter.
You can't be intimidated. You can't be frightened. As far as I'm concerned, the Tea Party can go straight to hell.
Hey, Maxine Waters, why don't you quit worrying about the Tea Party and look at your own district and the hellhole that's been created there while you were the representative from that district, Maxine?
Maxine Waters is not only a traitor to our nation, but she's not right in the head. In fact, the only people who are crazier than Maxine Waters are the people who support her.
At this stage of my life, I get a little confused sometimes. And it sounds like I'm batshit crazy. But there's a method to my madness. Because this struggle, it ain't no joke. And my millennials, they stay woke.
Maxine Waters, a Democratic congresswoman calling for President Trump's impeachment, getting a standing ovation before presenting the award for Best Fight Against the System.
You are very vocal in supporting an investigation that could lead to President Trump being impeached.
We've got to stop his ass. I think the millennials have adopted me because they really do believe I speak truth to power. And I discovered one thing, just tell the truth.
Yes.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I have not called for impeachment. Impeach 45.
The president is a liar, his actions are contemptible, and I'm going to fight every day until he's impeached.
I have not called for the impeachment yet. I say it over and over again, impeachment, impeachment, impeachment. And I will fight every day until he is impeached. Impeach 45. Impeach 45.
Should we wait to call for impeachment until we have the answers to that question? Or some of the questions?
I have not called for impeachment.
You said I'm going to fight every day until he's impeached. That's what you tweeted.
You know people don't like to hear the word impeachment, but we know you like saying it.
He lies every day. He's in bed with Putin and the Russians about oil, and everybody around him are allies with the Kremlin and with the oligarchs of Russia. They're going to take us down.
This is extraordinary. This woman is delusional.
Grabbing a woman's pussy, which I don't think he ever did.
He said it.
I go back to...
What grown man talks like that?
I go back to President Clinton.
I don't care about Clinton.
Well, of course
I care about this. Listen, I'm going to work every day until I get him impeached. I really do believe that much of what you saw coming out of Trump's mouth was a play from Putin's playbook. I think that when you saw him absolutely calling Hillary crooked Hillary, lock her up, all of that was developed. I think that was developed strategically with people from the Kremlin, with Putin.
You obviously have been very critical of James Comey in the past. You said that he had no credibility. I assume that you support the president's decision then to fire his FBI director.
No, I do not necessarily. The FBI director has no credibility.
But if you said that FBI Director James Comey had no credibility, wouldn't you support the fact that the president, then candidate Trump, now President Trump, made the decision to get rid of him?
No, not necessarily.
If Hillary Clinton had won the White House, would you have recommended that she fire FBI Director James Comey?
Well, let me tell you something. If she had won the White House, I believe that given what he did to her and what he tried to do, she should have fired him. Yes, the FBI director has no credibility. We want a diplomatic solution. We do not want war in North Korea, in Aleppo. And the fact that he is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea, North Korea, North Korea at all.
Those goddamn North Koreans.
They are some sneaky bastards.
Stop it.
My millennials, stay woke. I don't appreciate that you did not interrupt him when he was making those outrageous remarks about him knowing more about discrimination than I know about discrimination. I resent that, and I resent the remark about making America great again. He's down here making a speech for this dishonorable president of the United States of America. Having said that, I reserve the balance of my time, and no, I do not yield not 1 second to you. Not 1 second. Not 1 second to you.
I've got a major apology to make right up here at the front of the broadcast, because when I'm wrong, I have to make an apology right up front, because integrity is the only thing I've got. I only make maybe 1 or 2 apologies a year. I make retractions or corrections all the time. We cover thousands of news stories a week, so maybe once a week there's a retraction. I've been saying for a couple months, why is the New York Observer attacking Donald Trump, saying he's a Russian agent with no evidence, and then he owns the Trust, but he still owns the New York Observer? And then one of my crew walked in and dropped right in my face an article out of New York from a year ago that Jared Kushner no longer owns the New York Observer. Boy, did I feel like an idiot. I'm like, man, I read hundreds of articles a day. I scan hundreds more. I didn't know. I'm like, man, what is Kushner doing? Because it's like the New York Observer is like the worst deceptive rag. He sold it for $15 million. How about they like negative $15 million? What a piece of crap. So, the Hollywood Reporter reported on all that a year ago. Okay. They reported on again a few months ago. When I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong, because all I've got is my credibility. If I'm saying something, I really believe it. Now, I started talking about an apology I was going to make, and I remember what it was, but then I don't remember the gist of what it was going to be, so I'll have to do it later in the hour. I'm not doing that as a cliffhanger. I had all these topics, and so many times I go live on air, and then I have a particular thing I'm going to say, but then I go, no, I'm going to do this, and then I start talking about the next apology I've got to make, which are rare, and then I remember what it was about, but I can't do it properly now because it's not heartfelt. And I had this essence of what I was going to apologize about. So I'm sure during a break or something, hopefully I'll remember what it was. Because I remember the apology, but I don't remember why it clicked I was wrong. That is so frustrating. That is beyond frustrating. That is maddening. But that was one I kind of halfway backed off of last week. And then this one, I remember what the retraction was, but why I decided to make it, and the particulars of it, I'm going to have to sit here and sit back and think for a while. Those will give you a big headache, won't they? You know, I think I'm going to try to do this way right now. Let's talk about who I'm not apologetic to. I'm not apologetic to Maxine Waters. You know, Thursday morning, Friday morning, whatever it was, I got up at 6 a.m., went in, drank some coffee, had an espresso on top of it, fed the cats, fed the dog, and then I went in and woke the kids up to cook them breakfast. And I pulled back And I was just thinking about how the whole world works and how all this stuff goes down. And I had an iPad, my wife's iPad, fancy white case, props up nice. I'm cooking eggs and bacon, packing their lunches. I don't do it every day, but I like to pack their lunches and cook breakfast at least a couple times a week. It's just fun. That's the kind of work I like. I like washing dishes, mowing the lawn, you know, stuff like it's very relaxing. So I'm in there making little sandwiches and all this. I tell my kids go eat their food before it gets cold. And I'm sitting back, and I see an Infowars.com article at about 7 o'clock. Go bloop. And it's like Maxine Waters says, I resent, this is in quotes, I resent Make America Great Again. And I looked at that headline, and it was like Gateway Pundit or something, and I clicked on it, and I thought, surely she didn't say that. Not like I'm looking to get her. I'm like, oh, I finally got Maxine Waters. Oh, no, I was like, okay, she didn't really say that. So I watched the 4-minute clip, and I played it on the show that day. But later in the show, I said, wait a minute, maybe, because we played like a minute or so what the congressman from Pennsylvania said, the Republican. I thought maybe he said something bad. So during 4 different breaks, because I didn't just believe the crew, they're great people, I went and I watched the whole remarks on C-SPAN, messing the whole show up. I get obsessed on stuff. There's all this stuff happening, sir, this person's calling, this general's calling, we have a break. No, I'm watching this to see. And the guy's like, we have to come together, and it's about economics, and we all love each other. If you're all working on the floor of a factory, it doesn't matter what color you are, you're male or female, it's about, you know, building that car, and you're on a team, and we have to transcend that. And because I had this feeling, I said, there's no way she flipped out so bad. He must have said something horrible. And I played like a minute of what he said, but I thought, let me be able to really go back. Because I said, I know she's crazy, she's out of control, she's corrupt. All these 50-something million to her husband and her bank, and, you know, she's the most corrupt member of Congress and gets away with it because she's a woman and because she's, quote, has black skin or whatever. And so I watched from the beginning of the guy getting up. Took me 4 breaks. That's 4 breaks of a syndicated talk show host watching, going, I hope he said something bad, because I wanted to believe he did something wrong. And what he did was be loving and say we should work together. So I later played the whole clip in the 3rd hour of the show. I said, it's not that she's black. We need to build black people up or anybody else. It's that she is spewing all this crap knowingly about how she's standing up to the white man when she works for the big multinationals that are screwing everybody over. And I couldn't believe that there wasn't something. The guy didn't do anything. I played the clip on Friday. I played the whole exchange. And she said, I resent Make America Great Again. And that was the thing, man. People confront me and they go, we're ashamed of you, you know, blah, blah, blah. I used to be this good guy or whatever. It means nothing to me. I'm actually out for everybody. And I know this country's got its problems, but the idea is beautiful. And compared to other nations, it's powerful. And I'm not going to bow down in some virtue signal to her and go along with this. So let's play what she said at the end. You can go to C-SPAN. You can watch the whole thing from Thursday that we aired on Friday. But this is someone saying she resents Make America Great Again. Here it is.
However, I don't appreciate that you did not interrupt him when he was making those outrageous remarks about him knowing more about discrimination than I know about discrimination. I resent that, and I resent the remark about making America great again. He's down here making a speech for this dishonorable president of the United States of America. Having said that, I reserve the balance of my time, and no, I do not yield not 1 second to you. Not 1 second. Not 1 second to you.
So the